Good afternoon, Year 5. Welcome to my home and welcome to the new normal. In fact, it's the same old Mr. Dice, but just in a new format. This is the first in a series of 4 videos based on drawing that is going to help you with your progression through drawing and mark making. We're going to start off with some fairly small and controlled techniques, and then we're moving on to larger, more free-flowing movements, which will get slightly larger, as I say, and possibly messier. So within those constraints, within those activities, you'll hopefully find something that you will really get some enjoyment from. Now, each video consists of the same format. It's the same sort of thing each time. First of all, I'm going to give you some warm-up techniques that will help you when we come to do our main art activity. So there'll be a warm-up, main art activity, and then when you finish watching the video, I will join you in your classroom via the wonders of Zoom so that we can show the work that you've done, and so that I'll be able to take you on and extend you into further work. So for our warm-up, we're going to take a fresh page in our drawing books, sketching books, or we're going to take a plain A4 piece of paper. And all I want you to do is to draw a square and then another square. So I'm trying to keep all 4 sides the same. That's all we're doing. It's going across as many as you can fit in. I've got 2, 4, 6 in there, but it doesn't matter. 5, 4, 7, doesn't matter, as long as they're reasonably similar. And then within each square, we're going to do a slightly smaller square. So we're going to try and keep each side parallel to the one already drawn. So this needs a little bit of thought. So a square inside there. This square is more like a rectangle, I think, but it doesn't matter. So we're just concentrating on our mark making. It doesn't have to be perfect. If we wanted it perfect, we'd use a ruler, but it just needs to be like so. And now we're going to try and fit in one more, I think. So we've got 3 squares within a square, like so. I'm rushing a bit because I don't want to keep you too long. So that's the first activity. Square, square within a square, square within a square. And that actually gives you, if you look at it from top to bottom, it either looks like it's disappearing down or coming up to meet you. So the next one we're going to do is going to be a triangle. I'm going to keep that one underneath. And you can pause these videos anytime you want, so you can just do one thing at a time. So I'm doing triangles underneath my squares. And again, it doesn't matter if they're not exactly the same, but we're trying to keep them as much a similar size and shape as possible. And then we're just going to do the same thing again. 1, 2, and I'll just do that one. Now we're going to do, once you've had a go at those, we're going to try a rectangle, and now that rectangle is going to be twice the size of each of the triangles. So instead of having 6, we should fit in 3. And again, I'm just going to try and fit in 3 rectangles inside. As I said, it doesn't really matter. If we wanted it to be perfect, we would use rulers. So we're just trying to keep our eye on those lines and working within what we've got there. So we've got squares, triangles, rectangles. I think we better have a circle. The circles are a little bit more difficult to do freehand. So you need to think quite carefully about what you're doing. So I've got 2, 4, 5, 6 circles. And I'm going to do something slightly different on this one. I'm not going to, because it's a little bit difficult doing the circles inside. So I'll give you 2 choices actually. You can either do circles like that, or you can take a line and bring it round so that you've got a spiral. So we've got concentric circles, circles getting smaller, or we can take it again from here, round, and we're spiraling into the middle. One more here, and then this one will spiral round. And the last one, I'm going to give you, it's a sort of a free shape, so it doesn't really have a standard. It's just going to fit in. And there we go. And then I'm going to try and go inside of those shapes, like so. So the last one you can have a little bit of fun on, making up your own shapes, fitting in whatever you can. So your page will look a little bit like that. Okay, we've got squares, triangles, rectangles, circles, and freeform shapes at the bottom. So now we're going to use those techniques that we've been practicing to make our piece of art. And we're going to take a new fresh piece of paper, clean, clear, and we're going to start off smack in the middle. Now I'm using a Sharpie so you can see what I'm doing a little bit more clearly, but your pencil will be fine. So all I'm going to do is to do one of those shapes that I've been working on right in the middle of the paper. And the aim of this piece of artwork is that we're going to take that shape out by adding to it, and we're going to go to north, south, east and west of the paper. We're going to go to the 4 sides of the paper with this piece of artwork. And so these shapes are going to carry us there. It's going to be almost like a maze that will take you through to the edge of the paper. So all you have to do is just add 2 or 3 shapes that we've been working on, like so. And then when you've got 2 or 3 or 4 maybe, you're going to make those into a section by carefully drawing a line around them. So really what we're doing is we're outlining those shapes that we've made. So we've started making a movement down to this bottom part, and we maybe need to move sideways. So in a way it's a bit like dominoes, or when you're playing that game where you're adding them and moving them along. So I might do some triangles now. Doing a right angled triangle on that one. So I've got a triangle there, and I might put another triangle like that. Thing is, you can be as free and as easy as you want to be on this, because you can take it where you think it wants to go. So again, I'm doing this quite quickly so that you're not waiting around too long. What I'm doing is I'm adding those lines so that I enclose or outline those shapes that I've been doing. So I'm going to take it off on a little tangent now. So I'm going to go here, here, and here. So I'm going to try and fit a little parts one in here now, and that's going to come down to enclose close that. So now I've achieved that, I've got to one side here, the side that I call east, but it's just that corner, the far corner of the paper. And now I'm going to take up this shape. So it's very rigid and straight lined, this activity. So we've got one there. I might put a triangle on top like so, and then balance a square on the top of that. So now I've got there to this side, and I've got to the top. I could enlarge, because I don't really want all of them the same size and shape, so I want to make it a little bit more interesting than that. So I'm going to enlarge that shape there, and maybe even larger one here. So that comes down like so. So I've got the 3. I'm going to connect that up. There's a nice straight line through there, across. And now I can see that I've got a pathway that runs through here to here, here to here, almost like stepping stones to the corner of the paper. And I'm going to put another big one on this side. Now you'll know as you're doing this how you want that to actually play out, how you want it to be. It's a bit sort of by feel almost. So now we've got large, medium. I'm going to try and make this smaller now as I come down. Then I could take that out, because I don't like it too uniform, and that out there. Now you can make it as complicated or as easy or simple as you possibly want it to be. The only rules are we're keeping to those shapes that we practiced in our warm-up, and we're making sure that we hit all 4 sides of the paper, and we're outlining shapes as we go. So have a go at that. You can't go wrong. There's no wrong or there's no right way of doing it. There's just the only rules are you've got to get to the top, bottom, the 2 sides, and you've got to connect up those pieces. Now when you come back, I'll show you, there's a little one I did, that was a little scrap one I did earlier, just to show you, and that's totally different again. And on the other side I've done the same thing, but I've done it in circles, so I'll show you when we come back, and then I'll also show you shading and how we can add to that. So have fun, and I'll see you in the Zoom later on.